All my life, I've been with emotionally unavailable women, emotionally inaccessible women. And it really brings you to a point in time that you're questioning yourself, your sanity, and your choice in who you want your partner to be. I've been engaged 3 times, as far as I can remember. I've had multiple of girlfriends, but most of my life I've been single. And every time I try and re enter a new relationship and start building from scratch, it always feels like it was a waste of time, or I don't want to do it anymore. And it happened so many times that every single time you might meet someone new, even if it's not that you're chasing someone or going after someone, you feel this thing inside of you. Is like, how long is this gonna take? How far can I get in this relationship? When is this gonna happen, or is that gonna happen? And like I said, I had moments where you highly invest in a woman and they'll give you some in the beginning, but then eventually it fades. Or you've got women that just don't fall in love easy and then they basically already reject you from the beginning. Or you have women that, after being very comfortable in the relationship, after some time think they can treat you disrespectfully. Or you've got women that believe it's okay to build something up and then eventually ghost you completely once you reach that peak. And then you start questioning yourself, like, what is going on? What is happening? Why is this happening? And why am I the one having to experience negativity and failure every time again? Is something wrong with me? Or what type of problems have women got these days? And what do they want? Because it seems like they don't know what they want themselves. They say they want children, they say they want monogamy, they say they want full-time commitment and partnership. They want financial stability, they want their own household, and they want to start their own life and their mommy arc. But once they're in that situation where these things can be accomplished because you're the investor, right? You saw potential, you invest, you build as a man. They just either they keep their options open and just move on to the next, or they get bored, they leave, or they don't feel the butterflies anymore, or they click. That's one of the most hilarious things that I ever heard ever since I passed puberty is that usage of verbiage to tell a guy, I don't feel it yet, or I'm not feeling it, or it's been so many months and I'm not feeling anything. We all know as guys what that means. We all know as men what that means. That she needs that feel, that sensation from a Chad, the butterflies, weak in the knees, being all moist and all that stuff. That's what they're talking about. And if you can't give that, if you can't provide that, and I don't mean during certain situations in the relationship, I mean every time they look at you, then they're most likely not gonna stay. And like I said, I had women that fell out of love, that I had women that couldn't meet me on the same level as love, and I had women that were afraid of love. I had women that just didn't understand what commitment and loyalty and devotion is all about. They expect that from a man, but they rarely are willing to give it themselves. And then you get this philosophy, this mindset of the modern world. I have all the time. I am untouchable. I am immortal. I can get whomever. I gotta keep my options open. But they fear mortality at the same time. And I always have to laugh, and it's very cringe-worthy, to be very honest, because time is limited. Even if you think you have all the time, or you're convinced because you're young, it's always around the corner for something to happen that ends your time. if you know what I mean. So that's pretty naive way of looking at life. That's definitely not how I look at it. Every moment, every situation, every scenario, every arc, I take very serious. Whether I'm alone or with a person, with a partner, with a girl, with a woman, I take it very serious. I really invest. I give it my all. I'm just all there. I'm all in because I know that this might be the one. This time it's right, and that's not because it comes from a place of desperation. It comes with, look, I don't know how many times, how many more times I have in me, or how many opportunities I will have in the future. I don't have any damn guarantee. It's like gambling. What I've noticed with all the women I've been dating or been in a relationship with or been engaged with, they have this mindset that the next guy around is going to be better. This relationship was good, but the next relationship is going to be better. They're so sure of themselves that the next guy in line they're going to meet is going to be the one. And I even went so far as actually challenging that ideology with my ex. And I asked her, like, look, if everything has its basis in I gotta feel that click, and you didn't have it with me, although we've been together for 2 months, and you're sure or you assume with certainty that the next guy is gonna provide you with that feeling, that's a big gamble that you're taking, because it's either gonna be less, the same, maybe more. But is it gonna be enough to get you over the edge to commit? You don't know, so you might come to regret breaking up. Not in particular with me, but specifically because this was on a high level. What more do you want? What more do you expect? And that's where delusionalism comes into play. Fast forward 10 years and 50 years, replaced, next, forgotten, unattractive. And you know what's also interesting to add to it is that it's not only an unattractiveness that comes with natural aging, because it happens to all of us different level, but ugliness is worse if it comes from the inside and shines out. And I've seen it multiple of times. I've seen the ugly side of women I've been with. That at first I was highly attracted to them, and then I got to know their true nature, and then I realized this is actually a very ugly woman. People think that I'm talking about physicalities. No. I'm talking about what is inside that is rotten, that is showing and reflected the outside, and I see it with the eye that looks within, not without. And that's really scary. It is a gift, but it's pretty scary because it happens during the weirdest moments. I'll definitely talk about this in another video. But yeah, so I strongly believe at some point that, look, I don't really have it in me anymore to start over every single time. Hi, my name is so and so. Let's go on a couple of days. Let's waste some money. Let's throw around some money, whether it's gonna be something or not. Then you reach a point: are we gonna be intimate or not? Are we gonna try or not? Are we a boyfriend and girlfriend or not? And then you go through those cycles. You waste a lot of time, money, love, effort, mental health and all that stuff. And then they're like, I'm not feeling it, or it was all fun, but I'm not really into you that much. I'm like, you know what you can do? You can taste my boot in your face. You know what? There is the door, mofo. No, but in all seriousness, you just get tired of that process to go through it. I did it when I was a teenager. I did it when I was in my 20s. I'm doing it when I'm in my 30s. I'm going slowly into my 40s. And I'm tired of this stuff. These games, mental gymnastic, BS. I got all the time. I can do whatever I want. I got all the opportunities. I got all the choice. Yeah. Believe what you want to believe. Be very delusional. But reality is going to catch up. And then what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So yeah. Lesson learned out of this experience. Being the good guy doesn't pay off. Being patient doesn't guarantee you anything. Waiting too long, you might lose an opportunity. Being too intense and too fast and too sure about yourself might make them run away. Being stable and secure and giving them what they need might not be enough over time. And so forth, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. So it never ends. And that's what I'm trying to say. That every time you think you hit a milestone where you know and you figured out how to deal with it now, you always seem to slip up from their perspective. That gives them a reason to leave. And that is where disappointment comes, and tiredness, fatigue. And I just got tired of it. Like, I made the promise towards myself, like, look, I'm not gonna give you my heart anymore. I don't want to experience this lovey-dovey love stuff anymore. I don't want to be focusing on things that I find important in life as a person, like the emotional bonding, the intellectual stimulation, the physical magnetism. Like, if these things aren't there, or I'm not gonna go after these things in the person, because you don't get any guarantees. So they're not gonna stay, most likely. They don't really value these things accordingly. And eventually, they don't really respect you regardless of what you do or what you don't do. They complain if you don't do it. They complain if you do it but it's not good enough. Or they complain that you're too lazy to do anything. So satisfying the needs is impossible unless, of course, like they said, you make them weak in the knees. It's like this. And that is a rarity for most guys. I've never been with a woman I can do this and she does everything I want. No. Hell no. Do I want to? I don't need that, but it's nice to know she's got my back. I want a woman that has my back, that's willing to accept me as I am, and that respects whatever I do or don't do when I can or can't do. That's a rarity too, believe me. But it makes making this type of decision very hard, because in a way you're like, should I give it another chance? Should I try? Should I give up? Or should I just should I go my own way and just forget about everything? Because every time I feel I'm getting somewhere, every time I really feel, okay, confident, this is it, this is the one, I want to have children with this woman, I want to be with this woman, I want to devote my life to this setup, this relationship, I really want to make something out of it, and whatever I create is shared. And I find myself in that position, and it's very difficult, you know. I don't do that with any woman, but when I feel it, I go for it. And what happens? You get backstabbed, man. You just get backstabbed. And the worst thing is, they're the first to play the victim. When you break their heart, they're gonna twist and turn it into you use them, you know, physically and whatever. Like, they will make you look like a villain because their ego has been bruised. But they're not gonna be the first one to be held accountable for breaking your heart, breaking your bank, disrespecting your work and your effort. And that's the sad reality. They're not going to do that. And nobody will hold them accountable, neither, except you, if you can. And that's also a sad reality. That's something I experienced too. Like, you know, don't you dare break my heart. 2 months later, you broke my heart. What is this? Complaining about men dumping you, now you're dumping me, and you don't flinch? What's going on? They don't even respond. Alright? But don't forget, what you do to another person that you don't like to be done to you, you're gonna get back in threefold. So if you think this is cool, wait until it's your turn again. But that's life. And yeah, like I said, I decided for myself, I'm not going to chase after a woman. I'm not going to give a woman my entirety of my heart. I'm not going to invest my money, my mind, my sanity, my body, my soul, my everything into a damn woman. Because I don't believe none of them are worthy of it. I don't care if they call me sweetheart. I don't care if they rub my back. I don't care that they make me bust. I don't care that they cook my favorite dish every day. These things are so superficial and even base to a point that it doesn't really matter. So why should I care and why should it matter to me? These things don't. There is no guarantee that it lasts. And that is where the problem starts. Doing it might be a gesture of goodwill and good faith. But the question is, how long is it going to last? You don't know. You can only have a good judgment of character. But that's the point. For me, a lot of those things were short lived. Like I said. Why? More and better. Why settle? I'm afraid. I can't do this. I'm not feeling it. I don't know what I want. Alright. Flutter like a little butterfly until your lifespan runs out. Let's see what happens. And yeah, that brings me just to the end part that disappointment is very strong. And like I said, I made the decision for myself not to do those things anymore because it didn't give me anything that lasts. That is of meaning and that lasts. Nothing. So either it was all a waste of time, or you got people that tell you, just wait a little bit longer. The right person is going to show up anytime soon. When you're ready. I'm like, yeah, what, when I'm 1,000 years old? When I'm buried underneath? Like, don't get at me with that nonsense. That doesn't work. Or, oh, you're still young, you still got time. I'm halfway in my 70s. What you talking about? No, that's not how it works. So yeah, that's just the whole frustration. You have what it takes. You have a lot to offer and to give. It's a rarity for them to be able to accept, and when they accept, either it's because they want something from you, not you, they want something from you for a short period of time. And whatever they give back is trauma, headaches, verbal abuse, physical abuse, disrespect, disloyalty, dishonesty, anything you don't want, they will give you. Even STDs. So then the question again is, was it worth it? Is it worth it? My answer, no.